everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the event objectives for the Stoned in the Spire event, so let's get over to them. This week we will need to help Luther slay a bunch of giants. Luther does not need to actually be in your team as far as the rewards. They're mainly gems and a few keys thrown in there. As far as getting Luther, you don't really need him. He's the first epic you ever get in the game. Use him a little bit when you first start out. Everything after that you really will never need him for. Maybe just get his leadership trait, if even that. And he's mainly just used as an attack buffer very early on in the game, but not something you really need, but might as well claim the extra copies better than not having them. So where will we go to kill giants? There are two main places. There is the first challenge in Broken Spire, which literally everyone has unlocked. There's one of them, but the easier one, since it's a Broken Spire week and they do have 50%, every single one of these have 50%, so we do want to try finding a different one. The other easiest one that I have found is over here in Stormheim, going to challenges, the second one to the last, the one giant party, and we'll get 4 of them, 3 of them on 25%, and then the last one is at 50%, so pretty easy. If you happen to have a fully traded keg hammer, it is ridiculously easy to be able to get the event gems this week, as a keg hammer can one-shot them. His ability does twice as much damage to giants, and if you have the Empower trait, you'll be able to do that from the very first turn. So we're pretty much just going to be taking this extra turn off the board and then just keep plowing with as many of those as we possibly can until we kill every single one. And there we go, we end up getting a free skull out of it too, so we don't even need to use one of them. And if you happen to not have had enough damage, you would also be able to utilize that, just to make it go a little bit quicker. And oh, there we go, even quicker then. And there we go. So it's as simple as that. You'll see right at the end of this, we'll get 4 event gems very quick. If you happen to have them fully traded, you can likely get 4 within under a minute, which is pretty nice. A fairly easy event to do this week compared to some of the other ones in the past. So now for some fun teams with some of these. Okay, but first off, let's go to the events. Bonus Traitstones whenever you use an Obsidian Golem in a PvP battle. This week you will be getting twice as many Traitstones. I ended up showing quite a few last video, so I'm not going to go into too many with these. We're mainly just going to be doing some with the 2 bonuses, 25% to all Broken Spire, as well as 25% to all of the giants. So quite a bit that we can do with that. And of course, pretty much on any team that you want, if you're not messing around, just put an Obsidian Golem, you get twice as many Traitstones. Pretty much any 3 slotted team will be able to fit that on. So let's go over to our 2 teams to test right here. Let's start with the giant hero. The hero class, if you use the warlord class, it will count for having a 25% bonus. It is Broken Spire and a giant, but there's been a glitch pretty much since classes have came out, or since this new event system has come out actually, that your kingdom type doesn't actually apply. So even though this is a Broken Spire giant, it is only applying 25% for the giant. This will likely be fixed next patch, and we would be getting even more bonuses right now if it was working correctly. But for now, we'll just go with this. We'll be able to use our Yarrow to keep poking at whatever we need to kill. In this case, probably the Bone Dragon first. Etten is actually really good this week. A lot of people I've noticed have been using him. He just gets an insane amount of attack within no time at all. He's really nice. The other team we're about to use is going to be utilizing him quite a bit that you can build with him. And of course, like many teams, you can kind of just first slot him in any of like the Skull Spam teams, the Justice team, or anything really along those lines. One bad thing is that we are not using any purple, so he is going to be able to take those or block our board by us not being able to use them. We'll take the skull there. Giants are pretty tanky. This is a little bit of an annoying week for PvP, simply because a lot of things in PvP are extremely tanky this week, mainly because pretty much every team you'll be facing will likely have at least one giant within the composition. But we end up killing his only giant. We'll now be able to focus on the Bone Dragon. We'll want to make sure we can get that out as quick as possible to make sure it doesn't completely team wipe. Let's see, we'll get the Apothecaries. If it doesn't do it on red, we should be fine. Okay, yellow, that's one of the colors we needed, but it wasn't an extra turn, so I am perfectly fine with it doing that. Nothing else we can take as far as browns. We'll just throw that again. That will not be enough to kill, but we did get a lot of reds right there, and that will get us going into the final blue. So there we go, that will take out the main threat. Now we pretty much just won at this point since we neutralized all the threats. We have a bunch of shields and there isn't much that can really happen from him unless his Guardian gets extremely lucky. So we'll just do that, take our reds. I was hoping that we could get off this firing spear. I haven't used this for ever upon ever. Summer's Fury. This is a really good weapon. I think you get it at 35 red. If I'm not mistaken, it's one of the only red weapons that hit all enemies for full value. There's another one, but they end up nerfing it so it doesn't do full value anymore. But Summer's Fury is pretty strong. You can get it, it's a little bit later in the game as far as when you'll get it, because you do need, I believe, 35 red mastery, and if you do them all evenly, that could take a little bit of time, but it is a pretty nice weapon. Most of the other ones, like Creeping Death and stuff like that, are more powerful than it, but if you need a red variant of it, it's really good for that. And we have enough giants and barriers, that should definitely be enough to just wipe them out. We didn't even use the mythic, but it helped just as some backup. So there we go, we hit our 3000 rating, and let's go into the next battle and actually show what Etten is this week. Etten is, oh no, Bone Dragon, really? Okay, we could lose this, but let's see what we can do with an Etten. We're doing double Etten, Sea Troll, Jotnar. If you don't have a Jotnar, you can use a Valkyrie in this case, and it'll still be perfectly fine. So we're going to throw this down, and hopefully the Bone Dragon won't mess this up. The goal is basically just to get these Ettins going and get them to one shot, so that every single skull we take will just instantly kill anything we poke. So that is the goal. Of course, trying to do skull teams like this later in the game are a little bit weaker, but if you try something like this earlier in the game, you'll be pretty decent because you don't have to deal with things like Bone Dragon and some of the other really annoying skull spams as of quite yet. So we'll just keep poking around. Well, you actually already got Jotnar up. That also would have been a full Valkyrie if we would have had it. And of course, if this was a Valkyrie, we could just use it on something like brown, give us all the mana, or green or something. But we'll just save him. We'll mainly be using him to poke. Ideally, I'd be using him to kill that Bone Dragon. I think we actually have enough damage. Let me see. We have 20. Oh yeah, we do. Let me just kill the Bone Dragon, then just double check the board. Yep, it's clear. And let's get Bone Dragon out of the way. Biggest annoyance there is, so we'll just one-shot that. Good thing it has a pretty low HP value. We'll throw this. A couple places we could put this. I think I'm going to put it right here and hope we get a skull. And no, we do not, but we do get a random green. Haven't been able to utilize the Sea Troll yet, but he does double the amount of blues on the board, which if you were using a Valkyrie would also synergize pretty well. And all three of these, if you're not using a Valkyrie, use blue. So in that case, it would also help quite a bit. So we'll use this over here again, just aiming for the skull, or at least the attempt at trying to get the skull. We missed it both times, but gotta try for it. Okay, so he's going to put a bunch of green. Ideally, right here, we would take a green pier. We do not want to take that brown because it would put those greens too close to each other, giving him a higher chance of getting an extra turn. So yeah, like right here, we'll want to take these greens just to deny his chance of getting an extra turn. And there he goes, puts a bunch of green on the board. Does still manage to get an extra turn out of it. But we'll just double the blue. We have a nice little bunch right here that hopefully will get an extra turn. There we go, perfect. And we'll get that ability up, get even more mana, and just keep spamming out the Ettins. Let's see, I guess we'll go right here, hope for a blue. About a 50-50 that'll go in either of our direction, and it goes in neither of our direction. Though we do get a yellow, which will be another spear that we can throw out. I'll take the skull first, 140 damage right now. The second Ettin, even though it seems like we're not really using it that much, we kind of are, because we can use it for mana generation. It does destroy a column, so every single one of these gems that we end up destroying will either do 1 damage if they're a skull, or we'll gain the full mana if it's a mana color. Other than that, he's also helping with Jinx. Jinx does stack, if you don't know that. It doesn't stack additively. The first one's about 50% and 25% just keeps going down from there. It's not like 2 of them at half and then they go down to 0. It diminishes if you have multiple. But still, having more Jinxes means a slower chance that when they take a 3-pair that they will get a surge. So it's good to have. So we'll just do that. It's also why Famine is a pretty annoying, because normally you see double of him whenever anyone happens to have him. So, do we have enough to kill with this? No, I don't think we do. That would only be 49 damage. If we had some barriers, it would be. So maybe if we double the blue, get some barriers, that'll be enough. Let's see, did we get 2 barriers? Yes, we did. And that should, oh wait, let's just take that. Yeah, that's definitely enough now. And there we go. So, those are the teams. So, Overview, basically, make sure to use Obsidian Golem in any of your PvP teams. It is really nice since you do get twice the Traitstones. We did it in our last video and quite a bit on our stream. I didn't want to show even more because that would be like 3 videos in a row. But other than that, you definitely want to use a keg hammer fully traded if you happen to have that to be able to kill out giants. Otherwise, you'll either do it on the first challenge of Broken Spire or the second last challenge of Stormheim. Anyways, giants have a 25% bonus and Broken Spire, so have fun making whatever teams you can out of that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and have a wonderful day.